This is the fragrance that gets me excited. The fruitiness of Erba Pure with oud. So let's review Erba Oud now. Hey, what's going on? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, what I do is I make fragrance related content. So if you love fragrances, hit that subscribe button down below and also be sure to follow my Instagram page. But that's right, today we're reviewing another Sospiro, guys. This house has been getting a ton of hype. I recently reviewed Vibrato, which is probably the most well known, and Basso. So if you're curious about those ones, you can check those out after this video. But today we have one that's under the radar. This one hasn't really been talked about that much. I don't even think there's any reviews on YouTube of it, but if you know me, I love my oud, and when I saw this one, I just knew I had to smell it. And by the way, I just recently got back from vacation and got burnt, so if you notice that on my arms, that is just my skin peeling because, like I said, I laid out in the sun a little bit too much, so do not pay attention to that. I do quickly want to mention that this fragrance was sent out for review by Sospiro International, so shout out to those guys. I'll leave their link down below. But at the end of the day, that's not going to persuade my opinions or not. So if I like this fragrance, I'll like it. And if I don't, I don't. And also, by the way, to clear up some confusion, Sospiro has nothing to do with zaharoff. They're completely independent houses. They are not combined together by any means. So I know a lot of people get those confused, think that zaharoff owns Sospiro, but that is not the case. Completely different brands. Let's go with some information now. This fragrance was launched in 2022 along with a bunch of new launches from Sospiro. As far as the retail price goes, on the only size you can get, which is the 100 ml, is going to run you $295, which is a little bit less than others like Vibrato and Basso, which I believe are like $325. But still, that is a slight hefty price tag. But at the end of the day, this is niche quality, it is niche perfumery, so you are going to expect to pay a little bit more money. The concentration is in eau de parfum, and the perfumer behind Erba Oud is Christian Provenzano, which I believe has made all of the new launches for Sospiro and has a huge resume with other niche fragrances as well. So he's a great nose. Now, with all the information out of the way, let's go look at the packaging and presentation you get with Erba Oud now. So taking a look at the box, of course you have the Sospiro with that butterfly logo, which is awesome. Erba Oud 100 ml eau de parfum. On the sides you will have your seal. On the back, this are made in Italy, which is nice. And then on the bottom, you will have your barcode and barcode to authenticate your product to see when it was produced. Also that big butterfly logo on the top. You open it up like so, and your fragrance is housed in there. All in all, awesome looking box. So let's look at the bottle now. So taking a look at this bottle, which looks absolutely beautiful in that kind of orange, fuzzy velvet finish. Of course, you have that plaque on the front with the Erba Oud and the butterfly. Sospiro engraved around that cap. On the bottom, you do have your sticker with some information. And then on top, you do have the butterfly as well. Nothing inside the cap, but this is very heavy metal and nothing on top of the atomizer. And this do not click into place, but they do hold on by friction very, very nicely. In the top, you have orange, bergamot, and lemon. In the mid, you have peach, melon, apple, and saffron. And in the base, you have oud, vanilla, amber, musk, and leather. And this fragrance will be classified as a citrus fruity. So let's spray this and test out the atomizers. Very decent atomizer. This stuff shoots very, very strong. So let's go ahead and smell Erba Oud now. So on initial spray with Erba Oud, you are going to get blasted with this very well done orange note, which does resemble the bottle. So when you look at this, you do kind of smell like an orangeness to the opening. Very, very citrusy, very fruity. I do also get some of that bergamot and lemon that just brings a nice citrus touch in the background. But this fragrance is by far a fruit bomb at the end of the day. And what's crazy is in the opening of Erba Oud, hence that name oud, guys, and the oud is listed in the base, of course, but believe it or not, you're going to detect the oud from the top, mid, and all the way into the dry down. You're stuck with that oud through the entire length of this fragrance, which is a great thing for me, guys. I'll take all the oud I can get. And the oud in here is extremely barnyardy. It does have that earthiness, exactly how oud is supposed to be done. So if you're not really the biggest fan of oud or you haven't really dived into oud, this one is on the more daring side of things, so just be cautious of that. But man, that orange note in the opening is so good. Now, as we make our way into the mid is when it becomes even more fruity, guys. You're like, got a fruit cocktail going on in this one. And it's where the Erba Pura DNA actually comes from, is in that mid, because you're gonna get hit with this very well done peach that kind of gives it a fleshiness to it, along with this tropical melon. Now the peach and the melon are the two dominant players in that mid. I don't get any apple, I don't get any saffron at all, just very fruity, slightly tropical. So at the end of the day, you have to really love and appreciate fruity based fragrances to enjoy this one here. Now, I will be honest with you, Erba Pura was never my favorite fragrance. I thought it was overly sweet, like way too sweet for my liking, and leaned slightly on the feminine side. However, with the added oud they have going on in this one, it does give it a more dark kind of quality to that scent profile, and I absolutely love the way it's done in this one. If you're kind of like me and wasn't the biggest fan of that fruitiness from Erba Pura, this is one you're gonna wanna get your nose on. Finally, once you're making way into the base of this one, you are still left with that fruitiness from the peach and the melon. Those notes aren't going anywhere, guys, but what does come out even more is that oud in the dry down. Now, like I said earlier, that oud is on the darker barnyardy side, slightly smoky as well. It's not a clean oud. It is a daring oud. And the way they did it, guys, is so unique. I've never smelled an oud done like this, like a very, very fruity oud. Most of the time when you think of oud fragrances, you think of like a rose oud. There's no rose in this one at all. Hats off to Sospiro for creating such a unique, artsy sort of fragrance, because at the end of the day, this is the stuff that actually gets me excited. Now, along that barnyardy, smoky oud, you are gonna get a slight, spicy, kind of creamy vanilla in the base as well. I don't really get any of that leather. I don't really get any musk or even amber. So the vanilla and the oud are the two dominant players in the base of this fragrance. It's so exotic smelling, man. Oh, jeez, this stuff is so good, truly. Like I said, you have to appreciate artsy fragrances. This is not your typical fragrance. If you like something like vibrato or basso, which is very crowd pleasing, this one isn't really like that. This is sort of for like the true fragrance enthusiasts that just love the kind of creativity side of fragrance and perfume. That's exactly who this is more targeted towards. So let's go talk about the best seasons and occasions to wear Erba Oud. Now, to me, guys, I think this works the best in the fall, winter, and springtime. Not so much the summertime because of how thick, slightly cloying this one could become from the fruitiness and that oud in the base. So yeah, stick to more of the colder winter, the colder falls, and maybe even spring-like evenings. For occasions, this is without a doubt on the formal side, guys. This one smells of class. This one smells of luxury, kind of more upscale if you're wearing like a suit and tie. Just something a little bit more dressy, guys. This is where you're gonna wanna pull out this fragrance, because at the end of the day, this is not a fragrance you're gonna wanna wear all the time, just because how daring it is and could be slightly offensive to people around you that are not used to something extravagant as this fragrance. Like, I wouldn't recommend wearing this one to the office, to work, or anything along those lines, not even necessarily a date, unless you're on like your third or fourth date, because if you wear this one on a first date, you might honestly put her in shock and like, what in the world am I smelling, guys? So primarily just stick to more formal events, or if you're like me, I wear whatever I want, whenever I want, but at the end of the day, it does lean on the formal side. For gender and age groups, now this is very unisex. So you're obviously gonna get that fruit cocktail, which may lean slightly more feminine, but with the added darkness, the smokiness, and that oud, it does bring it back to the masculine side. So it kind of balances each other out very, very well. So both a woman can wear it and a man perfectly, especially if you're a woman, you love your fruity fragrances, you kind of want to get into oud, this is perfect for you. So for age groups, which I know I've been getting comments lately saying don't talk about age groups because it is subjective. You're right, it is subjective, but when I smell something, I'm going to give you my opinions on my reviews if something leans on the youthful side or more the mature side, so you guys can get a picture of this fragrance in your heads. For this one, it definitely does lean on the mature side of things. When I picture smelling this one, probably even like 30s and up, but you have to remember, I'm in my 20s and I can wear this one easily. At the end of the day, it does lean on the mature side, not youthful. I cannot picture a teenager wearing something like this at all. Doesn't mean if you're a teenager and you're watching this, you can't wear it. You can absolutely wear whatever you want. just from my opinion and smelling it, I'm painting you guys a picture on who this is best suited for. As usual, let's wrap things off talking on the performance. So when it comes to Sospiro, guys, I've had some great performance from all of them. No complaints at all, and Erba Oud is no different, guys. This stuff is strong. Definitely on the above average side of things. I got easily around 10 hours of longevity with this one on skin even, so yeah, this stuff just pushes and pushes. And that's obviously because of how fruity it is. Most of the time, fruity fragrances last a long time, especially when it has oud in it as well. Yeah, you're gonna expect something like this one to perform as good as it does. Projection as well, I got easily like 4 hours of very good projection, guys, maybe an arm's length away, and the sillage is so good. Now, like I said, in the air, it might smell a little bit more crowd pleasing than it does like on a test strip, but still not a very crowd pleasing fragrance by any stretch of the imaginations. So just be cautious on who you're around when you're wearing this one, because they will detect it and they will smell you. So Sospiro hit a home run yet again on the third one I reviewed, guys. I hope more of you guys actually get your nose on this artwork of a fragrance, because that's exactly what it is. This is one I would recommend maybe sampling over like Vibrato and Basso, which are way more blind buy worthy. This one, not everybody's gonna like. So just remember that at the end of the day if you decide to try this one out. But that's gonna do it for my review. Let me know down below if you actually ever tried anything from Sospiro. I know a lot of you guys have tried those other two from my other reviews. So just let me know down below your thoughts on this house in general. But besides that, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.